Says, hang on, we're telling more followers to join you. So get the word out. Let the people come in. Another crazy day in paradise. Welcome everybody to the Crazy Earth Walk. Yeah. Welcome. So thank you. It feels weird. So, but thank you very much. It's my hair was getting so heavy, and then it's it starts to hurt my head. So I had to go get it. And man, I didn't realize how long my hair was, but she took off a good, I'd say 3-4 inches off of here. So because when it's straight it's longer. So yeah, so she took off 3 to 4 inches, which is awesome, and thinned it the hell out. So because my hair is like, oh, it just feels so, I keep on touching it because it's like, oh my God, it feels so wonderful. My scalp is probably saying, yeah, hallelujah. So, so yeah, it does. It grows. My hair grows really fast. She did a little bit shorter because I'm not very good at making appointments and getting in. So, and we didn't color it or anything. So everything is au naturel for the hair color and everything. So yeah. Well, welcome to the craziness we call our Earth Walk. Welcome, everybody. And just a word out. I just posted last night for another meeting with your ancestors, another date, which is October 30th. And space spots are going quickly, people. Spots are going quickly. So if you are interested, definitely let me know, because the spots, I only think I have 2 or 3 spots left. And I just posted it last night. So if you are wanting to come and join me with connecting with your ancestors on October 30th at 6:30 in the evening, and it's online and it will be recorded. So you will get a recording of it. So what's up? What's going on? Well, we are in the dark phases of the moon. The devil time. So it's the devil time in the dark phases of the moon as we are heading into the solar eclipse. And this solar eclipse is really adding up to be totally gnarly. And it's a lot of what, unfortunately, things that I predicted to unfold by the end of this year are starting to unfold, and even the religious wars unfolding. And that's the funny part, not the funny part, but this is why I love astrology, and I find it really fascinating how things evolve. Um and I follow some astrologers that have been doing this for like years, right? It's when Venus came right out of her shadow, almost to the second she comes out of her shadow, shit hits in Israel. Like, and it's like, your mind gets blown, because you know that there's something is going to get triggered, something is going to happen at that time. And we're at the end of, we're coming to the end of the age of Pisces. So things are just going to get radical. Things are just going to get radical. And how things are going to become very unpredictable. But here's the thing, you don't want to choose sides, right? This is like what happened in 2019 and 2020. You don't want to get up on, I am this and I am that and I'm for this. I mean, be the person to say, I'm for humanity. I'm for life. I'm for the creation of family and harmony and peace. And with Mars just going into Scorpio, this is like, can give you that drive, can give you that motivation to really go forward with this energy, instead of hanging on and saying that and finding that you're justified because of something, and because of some sort of belief system or some kind of nuttiness. I mean, it's easy to choose sides. I mean, I could go, because I already, there are places for many astrologers. And if anybody, if they, if they're starting to profile, like, when traveling now, they profile. If they pulled up my Facebook and they pulled up my website, my Facebook, any of my Instagram, Twitter, whatever, not so much Twitter, but TikTok and that kind of stuff, some places I would not be allowed to go. I would not be allowed to travel. They wouldn't allow me into the country. And I bet you I wouldn't be allowed to go to, I might, you know, Dubai would be a very iffy place if they'd allow me to go. The Maldives, I know I wouldn't be allowed to go because they do profiling and stuff. Those are the places that they would kill me. One that I've talked about witchcraft and spells. I talk about the full moon and the new moon, and the energies and releasing, and I do full new moon and full moon readings, and I work with the tarot. And so all of that is evil, and all of that is pronounced, that you don't do that. But the thing is, the part that gets me is like, okay, that's a human being saying that. That's not what I know as the divine or God, right? And that's where you have to come into it. Is that it's like that separation where you got to come in and just sort of take that film off and say, you know what? I get it. That's where you're at. I get it. And nothing I can say or do could ever change what you believe, but I'm going to send you out with love and light. It's not going to change what I do, because what I believe and what I know to be true. And when I watch the planets and I watch things unfold in the skies and see it unfold onto the earth, I know there is a energy that comes forth to help to guide us, to show us that these are the unfoldings. This is how predictions are done. Predictions are done because they watch the cycles of the moon, or they watch the cycles of Saturn or Pluto, and watch and say, okay, well, the last time they were here, how many cycles has it been since they've done this? This is when things are done. And you can make a prediction, doesn't mean it might not come true, but you can make a prediction through what has happened there before. Now, where Uranus is going and heading is to a point of World War II and the energies of that. And what does that mean? And we have that energy in Taurus, and we have Jupiter, the god of inflating, means that there's something there that's going to be inflated. So we know that things are going to be inflated, things are going to be escalated on some point. And you might even feel that escalation on within your own life. And that's what, let's put it down to that. How do you feel energies escalating and changing rapidly in different directions in your life that you were not expecting? Things that are very electric and electrifying, because Uranus in Taurus is very electrifying. It's very shaking up. And what's happened? Another earthquake just hit Afghanistan again. How shaking is that? But unfortunately, we're not seeing or hearing about that. We're not, this is where things can get inflamed and things going crazy. Argentina, there's a city that is engulfed right now, encircled in flames. There's just like, and you're like, whoa, all of these little things are happening. So now we go like, what is being shook up and inflamed in your life? What parts of your life that you are feeling that are out of control or feeling out of control? This is where you really have to look at and take that step back and say, okay, how is this out of control in my life? How am I taking control in my life? How am I able to get the motivation and just do step by step, instead of trying to hurry my way through and go through it, especially when we are in the devil days of the moon, before we hit a pretty much full solar eclipse in Libra. And I love my Libras, but Libras can be very aggressive and very argumentative because they feel they're right. They're justified to be right. Justified. They have the sword. They do have the sword, and they have the balance. So I'm justified because I am justified in what I'm doing. See, I can weigh this out. I could show you where it's out of balance. So we have that energy with Libra. It's like, look, I'm going to show you what's out of balance. And that could be within your own relationships. There's something going on because it rules relationships. So where in my life do I feel that things are out of balance? And I feel like I'm justifying it because I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you, damn it. This is where, when you start, feeling that energy within inside yourself, you got to say, okay, you know what? Whew, we are needing to go into our reserve tanks, right? This is where you're describing activity. This is when you got to go into these reserve tanks. And what are those reserve tanks that are there for you? This is to get caught up in all of this drama and all of this craziness. I mean, I was just watching some news, and how this one man and his daughter, things are coming out that his daughter is traveling abroad, but he is, jihad, and he's calling all the Muslims in the world to arms and blah blah blah, and he's asking for money and blood. Your blood is the purification. No, it's not. That's genocide, and that is a crazy, fucked up spell. You're seeing shit being played out there, and that is some crazy, fucked up rituals that are going on there. And as a Scorpio, and I see that, I'm just like, what the hell? And it's on every channel. And I'm like, hold on here. Everybody's going on a bandwagon again. Mama's taking it backing up. I'm not going on the bandwagon. I'm getting, and I'm looking, I'm just like, but this is like, they're talking about blood sacrifice. They're talking about money. They're talking about the purification of blood. And the other side is basically, saying, well, I'm justified in doing this. And look at what I'm going to do if you do that. And, it's like fucking toddlers. Give me your toys. You're not allowed to play with these anymore. Now go in your corner. God damn it. Think about what you're doing. And then you're going to come out and hug each other, whether you like it or not. Have you ever seen that, when parents get, when kids get arguing and stuff, and then the parents, tape them together until they start being nice to one another? I think that's what we got to do with these guys. We're going to tape you together till you start being nice to one another and stop being so nasty. So that'd be kind of funny, actually. But there's that energy that's going on. So this is what's going on, right? And when you see that, and you're just like, well, they are casting a crazy, and they're using, and the thing is that they're using in the name of whomever, in the name of, here I am. When we see that and we're feeling that within the energies, it plays out. It plays out in how we respond to people. Like you might feel when you're out and you're like, God, I'm angry. I'm mad. Why am I so angry and mad? Oh, I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off because whatever. Like I'm pissed. I've just picked up some energy there. So you're going to feel, because there is such anger and hate right now in the vibration. It's got to be, you got to be sending that constant light, and you got to be sending, and it's going into your reserves. And thank God, in some ways, that Mars has gone into Scorpio, because now you're going to get that whole, okay, we are going to get shit done. We have the motivation. There's a motivation there that's going on. And this is where it's making a trine over to Saturn. So it's like getting that motivation on the direction of what we are wanting to create, how we are wanting to create, and how we are wanting to create that. And it's got to be in a spiritual sense, since it's in Pisces, right? Because Saturn's at the very end. It's at 0 degrees of Pisces. Mars is at 0 degrees. And now, and it's squaring over to Jupiter. Are we really getting the things done that we need to be getting done within our lives? Are we preparing ourselves within our own selves when we go out, before we go out? Are we calling in that light? Are we blessing things? I've been saging the hell out of everything lately. This is where it's at. It's like, am I coming into into a place of peace and harmony in places where it's going to get crazy, and it is going to get crazy. What they are calling for tomorrow, it's nutty. One of my funky prepper from the UK, he was talking about, there was there in the UK, they have gone around and they've been wanting to take over a lot of the hotels for at least 2 years, and have them sign a contract for 2 years to only take in asylum refugees. And most of them, over 90% of them that are coming in, are young, fighting aged men, fit, short hair. No families, no children, no wife, no grandma, no grandpa, but these are the ones that are coming in. Now, the one person that he was talking about, there were packages being sent with keys, and with the person's name in, with what room they were at his hotel, and they weren't there yet. Anyways, he was getting very suspicious because the packages came late at night. So he talked to a friend. He goes, "This is weird. I don't know what this is, but it doesn't feel right." And the guy says, "You have every right to open it because it has your address and it's coming to your place." And he opened them. And everyone had an AK-47, I think, and grenades and maps. This is where you just like, oh my God, okay. Even though you are being love and light and beautiful, you have to be aware, because when it comes, COVID was nothing. COVID was just a fucking prep work, right? Yeah, it's like, got you like, don't stay 6 feet apart, wear a mask, wear a diaper on your face. Yeah, get a job. But that's nothing when it comes to a belief system. When it comes to a belief system, if someone is not able to sit down rationally to discuss it, then it's fucking terrifying. Yes, Cynthia. This is where it's like, I got to be coming in love and light and with my energy, but it's like when you drive, like today, when you drive, you can't just drive, la, 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 I'm going down the road. No, you got to be aware of your surroundings, making sure there's not a kid on the side, not an asshole who's going to try and cut you off without doing a signal light. You have to be aware. You could still go out with love and light and bless everybody. You could bless the hell out of the person that just cut you off without a signal light, decided to signal once they get in the lane, which doesn't help me now, buddy. You could have took my whole front end off. But this is where it's like, okay, I was prepared. At least I knew I went by a feeling. I had a feeling. I had to slow down. And he just missed me by that much this morning. And I'm just going in my own little lane because I know where I'm turning. This is a turning lane. This is where you turn. Well, he wanted to come into this lane, cut everybody else, and then went into the other lane and cut a big dump truck off. Oh, God bless them. I just hope they get to wherever they are safe, right? But this is true. It's nutty for the people, but folks like that do not play by the rules. You got to keep that. No, they don't play by the rules, but that's why you, as a person, you can't choose sides. You can't choose sides. And when we start choosing sides, you start playing into the hands. playing into the hands. There were questions, and some of them, I was kind of, and I mentioned to Steve. I said, "Oh my God, an aircraft carrier was out in the Mediterranean. Is that normal?" Well, not really. They're not usually that close, or they're not right there. Well, an aircraft carrier was there in the matter of a day or less. Why was the music festival venue changed 2 days prior? But nobody wants to ask those questions. These are, there's so many things, so many circuits at play, and so many puppeteers that are trying to pull strings. And this is where it's like, no, I am cutting the strings because I'm not playing the game. I'm coming into the piece. I'm not coming into it. And with a dark moon and a solar eclipse, I know that solar eclipses aren't just for a day, they're for like 6 months, that this energy is going to be playing out for a bit. So I'm going to come into my peace and my harmony, and I'm going to do my steps that I need to do to continue that. And sometimes it's extremely difficult because you do your passions, things get pulled on you. And especially when there's horrific scenes being shown on the television. Here's the next question. Why aren't they showing those scenes like that in Ukraine? It's like, okay, now I'm seeing all of this horrific things. Horrific things have been happening over there as well, right? And so we really have to come into a place where we can gather, a place where we can really look at things in a very objectively, without, and if you are getting frustrated, if you are getting overwhelmed, and it's so easy to jump on one side or the other. It's so easy because each side is a victim. Each side, and each side. So we send out love, we send out blessings. And there are such the devil is at work right now. The devil's at work right now, and he is working. He's working hard. He's working hard. And the devil doesn't give a shit. Does not. He's not here to please you. He's not here to please me. He's not here to please anybody but himself. And we are in the times where we are going to see. These are all going to get starting to be played out right before our eyes. And this is where we really have to send out a lot of love. And it's funny, many times when years, even back when I lived in the Northeast, and I always saw things like there are no borders. Where did the borders go? Where, why are our young men marching off into war? Why are they drafting, seeing all of these things? And a lot of people, have called, said, "Oh, Mary, look at nothing, none of that's happening, none of that." And I kept on saying, there's a war coming. And I was saying this back in 2010. There's a war coming. I feel a war coming, and it could, and it's like, yes, there'd be the Iraq war or the Afghanistani. And I'm just like, no. And the Twin Towers happen. I'm like, no, that's not it. That's not it. That's a trigger. That's kind of getting people going. But there's something more. There is a world war coming. I know it's coming. And here it is. This fall and winter is the beginning, and it is going to be atrocious. Just saying. Next year, as I call it, the year of the Kraken, it is going to really take people by storm. And this is where coming into that place, that harmony, and making sure you got your spirit in intact. You got your spirituality and that understanding intact. And it's not meaning that you're not going to be aware or you're not going to be prepared. You're going to be aware and you're going to be very prepared. And that's going to be so important. So important. Because if you're not prepared, this fall is going to, between the markets and, I mean, the dollar's almost, if the oil reserves crash even more in the United States, because I think they're at 17 or 16 days, if they go down to 13, the dollar's done. And then the United States, like the fiat currency is done. So there's something else. And they know that. And there's a reason why they're doing it. There's a reason. And right now they have no control over a lot of the prices right now, because you got to look, where are the prices being controlled? By Saudi Arabia. Who, what's going on in Saudi Arabia, right? And that whole craziness that's there. So we know that things are being played out and that these puppeteers are playing these games, and people are, it's like Pinocchio. Pinocchio is like, there's a whole thing on Pinocchio I could go into, but you could watch in Pinocchio. Like, are you going to be the one changed into a mule and go into the mines? Like, what is, are you the one who's going to follow that because it's supposed to be better or whatever? It's the same thing as what they were trying to tell you with the COVID thing, right? So we have to really come into that spiritual space. And no, not everybody's going to agree with you. Not everybody's going to like you. And that's going to be okay. All right. And when you know that, and when you honor that with inside yourself, you can send it out with love. And that's going to be difficult. People aren't going to have money this fall at all. Target just closed in New York. Target. I worked for Target here in Canada. They weren't one to close stores. As soon as, if they're not making money, things aren't, I mean, they didn't do their proper research when they came to Canada back in 2013. But starting to close place like their flagship stores and stuff in New York, shit's going down. Starbucks just closed all their stores in San Francisco. Shit's going down. Right? These are big corporations that make millions and billions of dollars. For them to close down, there's a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason why they're not controlling the masses on the streets right now in the States. Let the chaos run. Let everything go crazy. Because guess what? I can come in and save you now. Oh, look I did all of this for you. That's when you run the other way. Let the craziness, let the inflation go, let things get out of control, because then comes in some kind of freaky deaky asshole who says he's going to save things. And that's what you're going to start seeing too. And that's when you're like, holy shit. They say the right things. They say the right things. And this energy that's coming in, and from this solar eclipse, things are going to happen. You're not going to see it because because it's a ring around it, right? So the ring around is the ring of truth. Who's coming in with the truth? Sure, and the fuck isn't a pope. It isn't the other dudes either. And there's nothing against religion. I'm not going to, about religion. God bless people who really have the faith and really believe and do the things that the religion was based upon. But we are unfortunately seeing the man part of it, not the God part, the man part. And that's the part the devil can control. The devil can't control God. Yeah, no. He can't do that. But he can control the man. And how the man acts, and how the man, and put things in there, and put that pin in there and turn it, or that little dial and turn it, to make them feel justified with what they're doing. I heard a story today. I heard a story. And if anybody who knows who the Jacobites were a group of people who were fighting against the British. And they were Scottish. And the Jacobites There was who's it? Bonnie Prince Charles, I think it was, who was the one who was on their side. He really believed in what they were fighting for, and that the crown was wrong. And as the crown got wind of him and stuff, he had to go into hiding. So he went into hiding on the Isle of Skye. Now, on the Isle of Skye, there is a house, and now it's been re-renovated. It was saved. It was in ruins, but it was owned by a McDonald, and he was one of the heads of the McDonald's. But the thing is that he didn't really want to take sides, so he said he was very secretive with what he did, and to look good to the Scotsmen and to the people of the Jacobites, he hid Bonnie Prince Charles. He hid him. But lo and behold, they did not know what he was actually up to. And he was involved not only with the Brits, the Clan MacDonald, yes. He was involved with selling his people to the New World. In behind, coming out and selling his people to the world. So this when I heard this story, it really reminded me, it might look so wonderful and they might look like they're on your side, and look at, I'm really saving these people. I'm here. Look at, I had my aircraft carrier out in the middle of the ocean, and I'm here for you, and we will negotiate with you. Who else is on my side? That's the craziness. That's the craziness, right? You have some bad ancestors. The Clan MacDonald from the Isle of Skye. Well, there's a lot of McDonald's on the Isle of Skye. I mean, that's where a majority of the McDonald's come from. Beautiful island. I've seen pictures. I haven't been there. One day. Same with the Isle of Man. But the Isle of Man is its own sort of, not their own country, but they're not under jurisdiction of the UK and stuff. But I love to go to the Isle of Man. So, but this is where, awareness, history, we need to understand that. We need to understand the histories and the different vortexes that are being reopened right now. And just think, if everybody said, I'm not falling for this. I'm not falling for this. I'm not, you know what? I'm just going to come in and love everybody. And everybody else, if you're going to be two bad boys, I'm going to duct tape you guys together till you guys, get some sense in your head. My family are from the far north. So yeah. But this is what we are going to be seeing, where one hand is doing this and saying, look, this is what we're doing, and over here they're making some other kind of deals, right? So we're going to send out lots of love today and lots of love tomorrow. Remember, I'm going to Manville tomorrow. So I'm going to Manville. So I probably won't be on unless I can, as I drive, because I have a thing that I can put my thing on and I could drive. So my phone I could put on. So. But this is where, not to scare people, I'm a Scorpio. I don't want to scare people. But I even, what I'm worried about, Italy keeps coming into mind. So something's going to be happening in Italy. And with all the illegal immigrants that have just came upon their shore, there's going to be some craziness that's going to erupt within there. And the thing is that there is where they are wanting to bring an instability, to bring in things to be unstable within countries. Now, one country that's going to be very difficult to do that to, like them or hate them, is the United States, because they have more guns than people. And you know there's some crazy ass motherfucker out there that's getting ready for Rambo, you know? So, so there's some crazy motherfucker out there that's going to be doing some, that's ready to, you're not coming in here and doing your shit here. So this is where, the countries that you're going to be seeing a lot of Europe become unstable, and the instability of Europe. And that's what we're going to be seeing. And that's going to call forth a lot of, a call for arms. You're going to see a call for arms. And the two nations that you think are fighting right now, they've always come together in a war when it's a world war. They've always come together. And I'm not going to say who. Just going to say that because I'm on a public forum. But I have said it before. So you got to think of the two nations that are at war right now have always come together. And it's going to be some crazy. You're like, oh, I don't know how that's going to happen. How's that going to happen right now? They're doing this over here. So yeah. See, as the world turns, let's see what's happening today. If you're wanting to book a reading, definitely get a hold of me. I'll be booking readings into next week. Starting next week, I'll be doing readings if you're wanting. So there's spots open. October 21st, it's next weekend, not this weekend, but the following weekend, I'm doing the vision board. If you, here are the people I have down for the vision board. If I did not call your name, let me know. I have Erica, Holly, Charlene, Jillian, and Declan Joe. Those are the people I have down for the for next weekend. If you guys, if there's somebody else who wants, because I have 4 spots left if you are wanting to do the vision board with me. And this, I'm going to say this vision board will really help create a wonderful foundation, honestly, a wonderful foundation to help you to deal with a lot of shit that's coming down the road. So if you are interested in it, it's 2 days and it's recorded. Card. Knight of Pentacle. Stay fast, stay steady, stay on your horse, keep going forward. Horse does not move fast, but the horse does know what it needs to do. It's going to cross its T's and dot its I's. So here comes something of stability, bringing in that stability. Where is that stability in your life and where you are, right? Okay. And as you go, we have the nine of wands, and it's reversed. And so we have, here I want to go forward, but I feel like I'm being knocked down all the time. If you're feeling knocked down, if you're feeling overwhelmed, because that's, with the 9 of wands, meaning like, oh, somebody just keeps, my passion keeps going out the window and I don't feel like I have the energy to move on. This is where you really have to, okay, maybe I do need to, let me go put the pot on and have a cup of tea, right? Go put the kettle on and grab a cup of tea, right? And sit down for a bit. And really go over your plans, go over what it is that you want to do. So if you're looking for a job, or if it's setting up your menu for the week, or whatever it is, allow yourself to go through that and say, okay, this is what we need to do. This is what we're doing. So you have a plan, and you don't feel like the wind's being knocked out of you, and your passion's going out all the time. Because we know we're all here. We're all at the end of the road. We're all have had enough. But the thing is, there is the sun that shines. The sun is coming up. The horizon's there. We might be feeling like we've had it all, but we do have the fortitude to go forward, even though it feels like we're done. You're not done. There's still a lot for us to do, a lot for us to go forward with. And we really have to allow ourselves to, take those steps to do it. So you might be finding that your energy is just not there over the next couple days, weeks, months. Just breathe. It's going to be good. Yeah, Ace of Wands. So inspiration might be very low right now. And with the inspiration being very low, that means We really have to come back into that centeredness. It reminds me of, when I was younger, I love this is what I love to do. I love to go into a church and sit. And that was back in the day when most churches were open. You could just go in, and also I was very lucky because my mother had the keys to the church. Tells you how Catholic we were, right? Had the keys to the church. And so I could borrow them sometimes, and mom would say, make sure you lock it back up if, at certain times, but would go and just sit in the back of the church and just sit, and taking that time to just sit. Because the one thing about churches, when you sit in them, or a sacred place, is that it's the quietness. And if you're able to come into the quietness, into the peacefulness, then you're able to really look at the steps that really need to be taken. So wherever that place is, it could be that you take your car and you just park it. And you don't have a radio on, you don't have anything, you turn the engine off, have the windows cracked a bit, and just allow yourself to be. And that's what we need to be doing right now. Just allowing yourself to be. Because hang on, we're going to be okay. We're all going to be fine. Just call in your divine, call in your God to watch over and guide you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. The Lord's there. The lady's there. The Lord doesn't go very far without the lady. As my grandmother would say, the mother's not too far away from her son. So the Lord and the lady are there. Archangel Michael is there. Call him in. He is the angel. He is the angel that is bringing in the warriors, the warrior of angels, to come forth to be with us and to be where we can shine our light. All right. So sending you guys out so much love and peace and joy and happiness today. Take your time out there. Don't rush things. Be calm, and everything's going to be okay. All right. One step at a time. Blessings, everybody.